Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Energy News Beat Daily Stand-Up. My name's Stuart Turley, President and CEO of the Sandstone Group. Michael is out. He's visiting with investors at a family office. You gotta love that young man working hard. Let's go through our stories for the day. Biden defends his economic record, says Trump's plans threaten growth. Holy smokes, Batman. What is he smoking? AGP plans $7 billion U.S. floating LNG export project. I love this. Japan has a new energy policy, will set nuclear share target of 20% by 2040. That is huge. Love nuclear. Rising electrical rates are the most overlooked barrier to customers' adoption of EV. This is a fantastic article, and when you sit back and try to think of the green new policies have killed actually what they wanted to do, it's kind of funny. Let's go to the last story for the day. U.S. sees small global oil deficit in 2025. Outlook reversal. I'll tell you what, it's kind of interesting. I still think the price range is above in the $80 range. I think that everybody is just kind of playing along on that, but I'll go into that here in just a minute. Let's start with our buddy Joe Biden. Biden defends economic record and says Trump's plans threaten economic growth. What a moron. When we sit back and take a look, ESG investing has done an absolutely wonderful thing for the oil and gas industry worldwide. It has set back and has really set the tone for not only big oil, it has set the tone for privately held companies in the United States, and that is shareholder returns. They are committed to not just blasting in, investing money, and then rolling it right in and then drill, baby, drill. It's not going to happen. So when President Trump says drill, baby, drill, I think he needs to really rephrase that and say, drill, baby, when fiscally responsible, and drill. Most economics agree the new administration is going to inherit a fairly strong economy, says Joe Biden, at least at the moment. What a complete lie. I believe this approach is a huge mistake. He wants to warn that a retreat from free trade policies threaten to allow adversaries to take greater role in shaping the world. We do not, if we don't lead the world, who does? President Biden, if you're listening to this podcast, you're not welcome on this podcast. I don't want to interview you. It would be absolutely a waste of time. Biden jabbed at Trump over many of the Republicans' first term policies, saying that his tax cuts he implemented had benefited the wealthy and seeking to draw a contrast with his own agenda. Wow. Anyway, I do love Grok, drill baby drill picture with Joe Biden holding a sign. Grok, hats off to you for creating that. It was kind of fun. Let's go to the next story. AGP plans $7 billion of U.S. floating LNG export project. This is huge. AGP this virtual pipeline is designed to directly connect to the independent U.S. gas producers with European gas and producers of gas-intensive industries. These advantages have so far been available to only various third parties around the global market. With the European economy struggling due to persistently high energy and gas prices, the third anniversary of the war in Ukraine approaching, the geopolitical implications of the project are becoming increasingly prominent. With green energy policies, you've heard me say this before, with green energy policies comes deindustrialization. If the German chancellor has his way, I believe he's asking Putin for some natural gas coming in for some pipelines. That's still not going to be enough. They're still going to need all the LNG that they possibly can. And this is part of the process that I'm writing articles, and we need to get rid of the Jones Act, because not only can this export facility, we can also have more pipelines or more coming into the United States from other areas and other sources. So I applaud them. They're on the right track. AGP with a 7 billion US floating LNG export project. Love it. Let's go to Japan. Love nuclear energy. New energy policy will set nuclear share target of 20% by 2040. Japan's industry ministry is making final amendments to a policy that will set the country's planned nuclear share at 2040 at 20%. Holy smokes, Batman, that is huge. The ministry said it classifies nuclear and renewable energies as decarbonizing power sources and plans to accelerate adoption by developing supportive investment policies. This is brilliant. Among the 33 operable nuclear reactors in Japan, 14 have now resumed operations after meeting post Fukushima safety standards. The resulted plants are Sendai 1 and 2, Genkai 3 and 4, Ika 3, Maima 3, Ojai 3, Okinawa 2, and Shemline 2, and Tokonama 1, 2, 3, and 4. This is very exciting, and I'm sorry, I'm sure I butchered all that up with my Okie, Texas accent. Yoshimoto said new administration will plan on restarting as many reactors as possible as long as they're safe. Hats off to Japan. I think it is absolutely phenomenal. Let's go to the next story here. Rising electric rates are the most overlooked barrier to customer adoption of EVs. This was an outstanding article and from Energy Central. I highly recommend that you go over there and follow them as well. They've got a great publication. As stated on Edmunds, according to the Experian Automotive Market Trends Report from the fourth quarter of 2023, there were about 3.3 million electric cars in the roads. This number is up from 2 million in 2022 and 1.3 million in 2021. While EVs are gaining traction, they're still a long way from catching up to gas-powered vehicles, which makes up the remaining 288 million point five cars. Holy smokes. And when you sit back and take a look at the number one reason people are not wanting is because of the lack of charging, and the number two is because of the cost of electricity. So if you were a green energy politician and you wanted EVs and you wanted to electrify everything, you'd take a step back. Let's look at the grid and let's look at how we deliver the lowest cost kilowatt per hour with the least amount of impact on the environment. That leaves out wind, that leaves out solar. You're back to natural gas and nuclear. Wow, this is a fact. The more we invest in renewable energy, the more fossil fuels we will use. It's a fact. You want to call it a fact? It is a Turley law, if you would. And so, anyway, that's a great story. Let's go to the last story for today. USC's small global oil deficit in 2025, oil outlook reversal. This story was on Bloomberg. And I really like this from the standpoint the downward revisions come after OPEC and its allies deferred supply increases for 3 months, which the EIA expects will tighten the market. Investors are closely watching balances for next year as weak demand and rising production outside of OPEC keep oil futures range bound. I tell you what, I follow Josh Young on X. He is one cool cat. He knows what's going on out there. And he put out on an X post, if U.S. inventories are declining, couldn't the oil just be used floating off for storage abroad? His answer was it could, but here's what the EIA shows for global petroleum inventories, including oil on water, and it's showing that it's down. NIS is also I'm a huge fan of NIS. Both of these accounts are listed in this article, so you'll want to follow them. And you take a look at the gas imports and gas exports. A beautiful chart there when you see who's importing what and how. Highly recommend follow both of them. But President Trump put out on Truth Social, any person or company investing in $1 billion or more in the United States of America will fully receive expedited approvals and permits, including but no way limited to environmental approvals. Get ready to rock. President Trump is on to something here, and here's where we're going to need the energy new secretary, Chris Wright. We're going to need Doug Burgum, the Interior Secretary of the Interior. We're going to need Lee Zeldin, all hands on deck. This is important because we're going to have all three of these guys working together, and we are about to blow the United States energy through the roof. We're going to have the lowest kilowatt per hour in the United States to attract the manufacturing that we need to have here. And I believe those three gentlemen are the team that can get that done. So you have President Trump over here saying, wait a minute, I want to attract businesses to the United States. Here's the three key guys that can help get what President Trump just put out there done. I hope everybody's listening. And by the way, I'd love to still have all three of you on my podcast. I've had Chris Wright. It went bonkers. Again, thank you for your time. President Trump, eventually, I would love to interview you as well. And also, Doug Burgum, love to visit with you. And Lee Zeldin, you're a rock star. I've loved all of your episodes on the Gutfeld Show. Thank you very much. So with that, like, subscribe. If you are, it is the tax season, and go ahead and go to energynewsbeat.co. Take a look at the top menu bar, and you'll see, is your portfolio okay? Go fill that out and say, hey, wait a minute, where do I think oil and gas is going? I personally have been investing in fund, and I'm getting about 32%. Love my mailbox money with my production checks as an owner. It is very cool, but I got about 98% tax deduction on my original investment. That is a great investment. Tax deduction, mailbox money. Hey, if you want it, go fill it out and we'll send you a note and get you introduced to RT and his staff over there at Pecos Operating. Hey, have a great day, and I look forward to talking to you.